Good evening and welcome to Friday's Midlands Today from the BBC. Tonight, thousands prepare for a peace vigil in memory of the 3 men who were killed on the streets of riot-hit Birmingham.
The event's going to take place on Sunday after police and community leaders pleaded for marches planned for today to be cancelled. The focus of grief is Winson Green, where the men died.
Well, Mary Rhodes has spent the day there. So, Mary, another hugely emotional day.
Yes, absolutely, Suzanne. But after the quite large international media presence here yesterday and the visit of the Chief Constable, things have been a lot calmer today. People have continued to turn up to pay their respects and to lay more floral tributes. There was a big turnout to Friday prayers at the mosque just up the road, but any talks of some sort of impromptu march or walk didn't materialise. Instead, we've heard that there will be a peace rally taking place at Summerfield Park on Sunday at 3 o'clock. Friday prayers always have a particular significance in the Muslim community, but today they had an added dimension. Over 1,500 attended the mosque on Dudley Road, 3 times the usual number. It was a show of strength and union for the families of the 3 men who were killed in the early hours of Wednesday morning.
It's just to show gratitude, feeling, and show support that we are with you. And I heard the interview of their parents. It was very good to calming the local community and the youngsters.
There had been talk of a march or rally after the prayers, but yet again the words of the father of one of the murdered men changed the course of action.
Where in the name of Islam do you guys... I don't know who's been spreading the word, but there is no march. We're not marching nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. If you guys want to walk, go hiking. There's no march.
Don't do it on our sons.
Yeah, don't do it in the name of our sons. No, I don't want no marches.
Instead, a brief silent vigil was held around what has become a makeshift memorial. It was here that brothers Shahzad Ali, Abdel Moussavir and friend Harun Jahan lost their lives. Well, this is where community leaders are hoping people will gather for a peaceful rally on Sunday. And the organisers say that they're hopeful people will share their sense of unity and join them for the meeting.
As a community, we all must come together, support Sunday, and then let's build a long-term plan of sustainability for our Birmingham together.
And given the hundreds of bunches of flowers and cards and the strength of feeling here, there's likely to be a large crowd at the rally.
Certainly does sound like it, doesn't it, Mary? But Mary, I understand inquests on the men began just a short time ago.
Yes, that's right, Suzanne. The inquest was opened and adjourned. The coroner said it was an exceptional case. He also added that he was satisfied with the pathologist's conclusion that all injuries were consistent with being in a collision with a car. Now, the detective superintendent who's in charge of this case has told us that 70 officers are working on the case and 60 witness statements have been taken. They have significant CCTV footage and they've recovered a car believed to be involved in the incident 200 yards away from here, and it was burnt out. They've also recovered another vehicle which they believe may have been involved in the incident. They say that it's highly likely police will apply for more time to question the 3 men that they have arrested on suspicion of murder. Well, word is spreading of the peace rally which is due to take place on Sunday. That's 3 o'clock at Summerfield Park, and that is likely to attract a huge number of people away from this community of Winson Green and far beyond. Back to you.
Mary, thanks very much indeed for that. And just a reminder, there'll be a BBC WM News special at 3 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. That'll be live from Summerfield Park and presented by Adrian Goldberg.
9 more offenders from this week's riots and looting are now in prison after courts sat again last night. 85 defendants have been through the legal system here so far.
Meanwhile, pictures of people still wanted by police are being displayed on a large mobile TV screen in Birmingham. Over the next 2 days, the van will be driven around the city centre in the hope people will come forward to identify them. Katie Rowlett has the latest.
These are some of the faces being hunted by police in Birmingham. And now thousands of people are being urged to help. At 6 metres high, you can't really miss it. And it's certainly catching the attention of commuters and shoppers here in Birmingham today.
I think it's really good. I think, people can recognise these people and bring them to justice, then why not?
It's a good way of catching people, actually, to be honest. So you can't They can't do nothing else, can they? This is the only thing they can do.
It's a good thing what they're doing, yeah, because if the people up here are doing it, then they're going to see the person themselves, but it's a good thing to do, yeah.
It's an unusual tactic, but it does have backing.
It's important that the public works together to support each and other's community in saying that any act that destabilises communities should not be supported in any way.
Tell everyone to come down and have a look. You never know who you might see.
In the last 24 hours, more than 500 people have contacted officers with information about the images.
Well, this obviously helps us to arrest offenders a lot quicker. We therefore can retrieve evidence sooner, and we've got more opportunity to have a successful prosecution through the courts.
And the Magistrates' Court in Birmingham will sit this weekend. Volunteer prosecutors have also come forward to help cover the cases.
If there's an arrest tonight, then I would expect them to be put before the court tomorrow morning and could be dealt with straight away, as we've seen in some cases already.
And with more arrests expected, the courts could be busy through to Monday morning. Katie Rowlett, BBC Midlands Today, Birmingham.
And Katie joins us now live from Birmingham city centre, where, Katie, a sense of normality appears to be returning.
Yes, it does, Michael. I mean, you only have to look around me and there's a lot of people here still milling around shopping, because it's good news. The Bullring has decided to stay open till 8 o'clock tonight. And there does seem to be a sense of normality returning, except for the increased police presence, which is quite obvious. There's quite a lot of police just behind us.
The van's still with you. Presumably they're planning to move it at some point. Where's it going next?
Well, interestingly, it was supposed to move this evening out onto the Bristol Road to catch commuters as they go home from work. However, the police decided to keep it here at the Bullring because of its prime location. They've had such a good response. It'll also be here tomorrow when the Bullring has full opening hours, so we'll have the potential to be seen by thousands of other people.
Katie Rowlett in Birmingham, thank you.
Thousands of police officers have been on the front line of the battle to restore order to our streets all week. Leave has been cancelled and officers have been working shifts of 12 hours on and 12 hours off since rioting started on Monday. So what's it been like on the streets for those officers? Well, earlier I spoke to Andy Gilbert, the chairman of West Midlands Police Federation, and I began by asking him how morale was now among officers.
I can tell you that officers are feeling absolutely exhausted, but they're also determined to see this job through and make sure all those involved are brought to justice. But they should also be feeling very proud, because I think their efforts were absolutely outstanding. Courage and commitment has been shown from the start, and that work is still ongoing with officers working really long hours.
And tell us a little bit about what sort of danger they have faced, because we've been hearing terrible stories about people with knives and axes going out there.
There have been people with weapons, there have been people throwing missiles. This has been a very dangerous and volatile situation by these thugs, and I think the West Midlands Police have dealt with it commendably, and I'm certainly very proud to represent those officers. A
number of officers have been injured, haven't they, and hopefully not too seriously?
That's correct. We have, obviously in something like this, people will get injured, but thankfully not seriously.
OK. Now, the big talk at the moment, especially in the House of Commons, in Parliament, is cuts. And of course your force, like any other, is facing a lot of cuts as well. In the light of the last few days, can you afford to have these cuts happen? Would you be able to cope in a similar circumstance without those officers?
In 2015, there will be 16,000 less police officers in this country. Now, the situation has changed since the spending review, so the government has to change their mind now. They have to think again, and they should not be reducing the number of police officers. I understand there's an argument that policing is not just about a numbers game, but when you're dealing with serious public disorder, serious criminality like this, then it is about numbers.
Well, we've very much seen that, haven't we? Because especially on the streets of the West Midlands, where the numbers of police have gone up massively over the few days. Can you continue at that level?
At the moment we can, but obviously these cuts are over a period of time, and when we get to the end of 2015, there'll be a substantial amount less of police officers in this country.
And we know the officers have been extremely brave. They've been out working at 12-hour shifts, haven't they? 12 hours on, 12 hours off, 12 hours on, continuously. Must be exhausted, as you say they are. What's morale been like generally anyway, before all of this happened? Because obviously they were facing losing their jobs, a lot of people.
Before this started, morale in policing is absolutely rock bottom, and that's to do with this government's fragmented approach to policing. They don't understand policing, and I don't think they understand police officers. But it's not just the courage, it's also those people who are working behind the scenes. You've got detectives working flat out around the clock. You've got people in control rooms. You've got custody sergeants, custody staff, police staff working really, really hard. And the front line relies on those people in back and mid offices, and that's where the government don't understand how we do business.
OK, Andy Gill, thanks very much indeed for coming and talking to us.
Thank you.
The Home Secretary has banned an